You sound like the same people that told LeBron James to shut up and dribble, and you the same people that told Colin Kaepernick to stand up. Hey, what's up, family? It's your boy LaRon, and we back with another video. You see the thumbnail, you see what this video's about. I'm not even going to do the intro because this is going to be a lot to unpack. It's going to be a long one. So in this video, I'm going to just say, hit subscribe and turn on notifications and like and share this content. All right, let's get into this video. So Stephon Marbury coming out and say that we need to defund Stephan A Smith. This is my first time hearing somebody saying that they need to defund somebody who work at ESPN. You know what I'm saying? Usually they just go on an apology tour, then they just get rid of him. But this time we talking about we got to defund Stephan A Smith. Stephon Marbury is getting at Stephan A Smith, and Stephan A Smith actually replied back to Stephon Marbury, which is interesting because a lot of people say things about Stephan A Smith, and he don't really reply back unless they get real traction. For some whatever reason, this Stephon Marbury, few clips that he put out got traction, and Stephan A Smith replied to it not once but twice. So he replied to it on First Take, and he replied to it on his show Stephan A Smith World on ESPN Plus. I want to give you how we got here with Stephan A Smith, right? Stephan A Smith, he's quoted saying, or I could paraphrase it, the first thing I think about when I wake up is how to make my bosses more money. So Stephan A Smith is a company man. Nothing wrong with that if that's who you want to be. If you want to be somebody that's for the company, fine, so be it. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't take no shame in it. You know what I'm saying? That's who you are, right? Not everybody can be an entrepreneur. Not everybody can be a boss, right? Don't let Instagram fool you and all that. You know what I'm saying? Who you are is who you are. And Stephan A Smith knows he's a worker. And he said the first thing he think about when he wakes up in the morning is how to make his bosses more money. So if the bosses want to push something out as far as like getting the shot, he's going to go all in. As long as the bosses got his back, right? If they got his back, he's going to go all in. So let's get to how Stephan A Smith been turning off athletes for quite some time. So just recently, right? I'm not going to go all the way back to his career, but matter of fact, let me go back a little bit. Stephon Marbury, him and Stephon Marbury have been going at it for years. Had a radio show in New York, and Stephon Marbury played in New York. And to some people, expectations, Stephon Marbury did not live up to his name, and when he played for New York, right? So Stephan A Smith used to go on the radio and get on Stephon Marbury as much as he could, always getting at Stephon Marbury, right? So that's why they relationship always been rocky, because that was his main thing. That was one of his main targets. Listen to sports radio in New York was Stephon Marbury. So now it's fast forward. You know, Stephan A Smith had a lot of issues with Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Durant kind of try to ignore him, but Stephan A Smith just keep coming and passing around. You know, I think Stephan A Smith said something like, you don't want to make an enemy out of me, like a threat to Kevin Durant. And I think even Kevin Durant moms went to the show and said something about it. Like, it got really bad. It got really bad. And I think he called Kevin Durant out because Kevin Durant went to go play for the Golden State Warriors. You know what I'm saying? Because that team was already built. But at the same time, you know, if you got a job and you can find a different employer that make your job easier with your talent level, anybody else will take it. But I know sports is different, but I digress on that. So, you know, he's getting at Kevin Durant. And just recently, especially when it comes to the shot, his main target before Kyrie was LeBron James. So he's getting at LeBron James heavy. So first, he was on his show on ESPN saying that they didn't know if LeBron James took the shot. And he's coming out saying that LeBron James need to put his voice out there and say he got the shot or not. It's because LeBron James always speaking on issues. And he feel like Stephan A Smith says that the issue with the shot is a black issue, because he says a lot of black people are dying from the COVID, right? So he said that LeBron James, if he speak on other issues, he need to speak on this issue. And not only Stephan A Smith was saying that on his show, Stephan A Smith also took it to CNN and had multiple interviews with Don Lemon, and speaking about that. So I did speak about how it's weird that they all coming at LeBron James. And my theory was they just want LeBron James not to be the face of the NBA no more, because LeBron James, you know, he got out the president, right? So LeBron James got out the president. And my theory was, you know, CNN, which is like under the TNT umbrella, ESPN, they both have partnerships with the NBA, and they see their ratings going down. So I figured like maybe Stephan A Smith is going on both platforms trying to tarnish LeBron James' name so more people could move away from LeBron James, because these people feel like Stephan A Smith have that kind of power, right? They feel that Stephan A Smith have that kind of power. But now when it comes to Kyrie Irving, so Kyrie Irving, he did not take the shot, and Stephan A Smith's been one of his biggest, loudest critics. Kyrie Irving have a lot of critics when it comes to not taking the shot, such as Shannon Sharp, such as Jamel Hill, saying a lot of people are coming at him. Dan Le Batard, a lot of people were coming at Kyrie Irving saying that he needed to do what he got to do, right? Just to play basketball. But Stephan A Smith is taking it to a whole nother level. Stephan A Smith is calling Kyrie Irving out his name, calling him stupid, saying that he taking the shot or he didn't retire, saying all kinds of things, right? All types of flagrant things about Kyrie Irving. All right, so now we at this point where Stephan A Smith is on First Take just recently talking about this. So now this is an exchange between Stephan A Smith and Jay Williams. So Jay Williams is fully vaccinated. He said he got the shot, fully vaccinated. But Jay Williams also said he got both it twice, and Jay Williams is an advocate for the shot. But he had to stick up for Kyrie because Stephan A Smith was going crazy, and not to mention Jay Williams and Kyrie both went to the same college. So you see how things being connected and entwined. It's just like Kyrie was that dude that Jay Williams had to defend. So I'm gonna play a clip. I'm gonna play a lot of clips. I gotta play a lot of clips just to unpack what's going on. Then after that, I'll give you my assessment throughout the clips, and I'll let you know what's going on afterwards the clips in my opinion. Let's play this first clip of the Jay Williams and Stephan A Smith basically just going at each other. It was crazy. All right, so here we got Jay Williams and Stephan A Smith speaking about I guess Stephan A Smith's tone and what he's saying and how he's coming across. And I think Jay Williams really set Stephan A Smith up. I think this is all a setup. And I think Jay Williams played a big part in this setup. So I'm gonna play the clip, and I'm gonna tell you why it's a setup throughout the clip. So let's start with this clip.
I'm with you guys on all this. I've lost a family member. I've had COVID twice. I get it. I just want to be careful when we start going down this road that we're going to act like Kyrie Irving being vaccinated or not being vaccinated is going to change the minds of millions of people.
See how he put that out there? So he brought up Kyrie Irving and how can Kyrie Irving change the minds of millions of people? No, Kyrie Irving cannot. But I think Jay Williams put that out there because they have a connection. Jay Will and Kyrie Irving have a connection, which is Duke. They have a connection. They both were point guards for Duke. So those type of connections run strong, and I think right here Jay Williams is definitely playing chess. He brought this up, and he did this in a very slick way. Wow, check this out.
We start going down this road where we start. But I'm just telling you how it feels. Some people, Stephen A. When you start calling people stupid, or you start calling people saying that they're selfish, and these things start going all over the internet, that creates a different narrative, and people start fighting back against that narrative. I'm just telling you how it is on the other side, Stephen A. You have your thoughts on how you see things.
What's the other side? What's the other side? The point is where he's.
You see how tricky Stephan A Smith got? What's the other side? What's the other side? Like, all right. So apparently Stephan A Smith was on the wrong side, and Jay Williams pulled him to show him what the other side is about.
I'm on the side of being vaccinated, man. I'm just trying to tell you.
I didn't say you weren't. We're talking about you're the one that took it there, Jay. We're talking about a basketball. Yes. We're talking.
See, I think Stephan A Smith realized Jay Williams took it there, right? Quote unquote took it there. He took it to another place. Stephan A Smith said, I'm trying to keep it basketball. And Jay Williams took it to a whole nother place. So, and he said, yeah, I am taking it there. Like I said, I think Jay Williams is trying to stick up for Kyrie Irving, in my opinion, because they both play for Duke. You know what I'm saying? That's a strong bond with them colleges, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's part of the reason. And Stephan A Smith don't have those kind of ties with like athletes as far as the collegiate level, like Jay Williams have with Duke players.
About a basketball player who signed on to play for the Brooklyn Nets that has left his team hanging.
Yes,
That's
because
what
of
we're
his
talking
own
about.
personal decision. He's choosing to do that for him. And when you go through an unprecedented time in the history of this country, you have your own individual right to make your own decision about what you want to do for you and your family.
So
I just respect that right. I'm not saying I agree with that right. I respect it.
All right then. You respect the right. I'm saying that you know. I'm saying that you know.
Okay.
If you're sitting up there, if you're signed on to do a job, okay? And that's what comes with it. That comes with it. Now, I can get deeper and bring up the fact that the president of the healthcare system, virtual healthcare system in South Jersey was the one that personally took me to the ICU unit, to the ICU.
First of all, my bad about this random scanning. I don't know what happened when I made this video, and also my bad about that ESPN alert, like the place where I got the video from. He clearly didn't, or she clearly did not have the notifications off. So sorry about that.
I didn't say you
but
were.
You act like we've had 100% vaccination rate in this country since the beginning of all illnesses have occurred.
You know what, Jay? Jay, you sound full of it, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I'm not full of it.
We're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. You taking it somewhere I wasn't going. We could do that now. Any day you want, we could do that.
See, now remember Stephan A Smith said that we could take it there where you trying to. We could take it where you're trying to take it to. We could do that any day of the week. Keep that noted.
But what I'm saying is, we're talking about Kyrie Irving not showing up for the Brooklyn Nets after he got guys to show up for the Brooklyn Nets. And here you go bringing up all of that other stuff. We can do that. We can do that. But I wasn't trying to do that. That's where I'm calling him selfish. You know, like questioning his right. He has the right to do it. He also has the right to go to hell away then. Retire. Retire then. Because you left your teammates hanging. That's my point.
Okay.
Stephen A, should...
All right, so you heard that part, right? So like I said, I think Jay Williams lined him up, in my opinion. So a lot of people saying that Stephen A. Smith punked Jay Williams and told him he's full of it, whatever, and has Jay Williams like a punk. No. I think he lined him up. He lined him up perfectly, and I'm going to show you other videos on why I think he lined him up. They kept bringing Jay Williams back because they know that, like I said, that Duke connection between them. So now this is the day after that report came out of Kyrie. I think Kyrie came out and said that he's his reasonings for doing what he's doing on IG Live. So this is Stephen A. Smith reply to that, you know what I'm saying, and Molly Karam asking him a question. So I'll let her ask the question and Stephen A. Smith give his reply. Then during the video, I'm gonna give you my 2 cents about why this is kind of crazy what he's saying.
Our position on Kyrie change?
Yes, it should change in regards to Kyrie. It should be even worse than we originally imagined. You know, I have to be, and I try to be, incredibly careful, fellas, in terms of I try to focus on what you do, not who you are. People make mistakes. None of us are flawless. All of us have made mistakes. We'll continue to make mistakes. None of us are perfect, and we get all of that. But I've been covering the NBA now for almost 25 years. I mean, this is some of the stupidest nonsense I've ever seen. Just flat out stupid. So let me get this straight. So if the reports are true, because we don't know whether they are or not, okay, but let's give credit to Sham and others who have reported this. It is what it is. Let's go with that, okay? If it is true, Jay, if it is true, Marcus, so you don't have a problem with taking the vaccine, your position is that you're going to sit up there and compromise the championship aspirations of an organization you signed on to represent. You coaxed Kevin Durant into signing on to represent. You played the role in coaxing James Harden into signing on to represent. You're going to compromise all of that because you want to give a voice to the voiceless.
See, Stephen A. Smith being that company man, you know, like I said before, he'll do anything to make his bosses money. That's his mindset, which is, you know, that's his mindset. Nothing wrong with that. That's what he believes. However, not everybody believes that. So he's kind of approaching this the way that he would approach this. Like, I got to make my bosses more money. So if I got to take a shot, I'm taking a shot. If I jump off a bridge, I'm jumping off a bridge. So he's like, I do anything it takes to make my bosses more money. And it seems like Kyrie is like, I want to be a voice for the voiceless because, you know, what was going on is not right. And Stephen A. Smith don't respect that. So you could respect that he don't respect it, but you don't have to respect his view, if that makes sense. I don't think it did, but whatever.
Really? And how is that going to work out for you, Kyrie Irving? You're going to disappear from the game of basketball? Who the hell is going to be interested in what you have to say when you have proven that you can't even be trusted enough to do your damn job?
See, like I said, it's more about, on the Stephen A. aspect, it's more about work, right? It's more about doing the work. And, you know, we talked about some people like Colin Kaepernick who wanted to stand up, and people told him basically the same thing. Like, who are you? Once you leave this game, or once you lose your position in this game, who's going to listen to you after that? So they want to applaud Colin Kaepernick for what he did, but now he want to shame Kyrie Irving for what he's doing.
A job you volunteered for. This ain't the military where you were drafted. You chose to play basketball.
See, he's kind of throwing a little jab at the people who saying, like, this is the closest thing to Muhammad Ali. You know what I'm saying? This is the closest thing to Muhammad Ali. Not saying it's the same level. I just say, like, it's very comparable to Muhammad Ali with the draft. So he's throwing that kind of shot out there.
You chose to enter the NBA. You chose to sign that contract as a free agent to go to the Brooklyn Nets. You chose Brooklyn as your destination. You chose the Nets franchise to represent. You asked KD and James Harden to come on board with you in Brooklyn to establish your own legacy, and then you leave them hanging.
See, that's the thing, another thing too. He asked him to come on not knowing there's going to be a global pandemic. He asked him to come on not knowing that there's going to be a mandate to take a shot. And now he's stuck in a position with new circumstances. So Stephan A Smith is acting like it's such a matter of fact, like, all right, you asked him to come on. Now you're not doing your part. And I think that's messed up, because he does have a right to say or right to feel what he want to do. And Stephan A Smith is putting a narrative out there, and I think he's trying to put a narrative out there to make the division between James Harden and Kevin Durant, and saying that this dude is not doing his part because he's not following their dreams for what he feel. What he feel and their dreams are two different things.
Because of what exactly? Your own individual principle? I am not calling Kyrie Irving stupid.
See, he said because your own individual principle. A comment like that, not to say Stephan A Smith is that, but he seems like a man with no principle. And as long as you put that carrot in front of him, aka that money, he's going to do what it takes, no matter what.
Kyrie Irving, I happen to believe, is an intelligent brother whose heart is in the right place. But now you've regressed to an alarming level of self-righteousness. It not only makes you look hypocritical and untrustworthy, it makes you look what I know you are not, which is flat out stupid.
Now you.
All right, see, so he's now calling him flat out stupid. So I stand corrected. After that clip, I think that's when Kyrie came out and had his IG live. So prior to that clip, that's when the story came out that Kyrie Irving is doing this because he wanted to be a voice for the voiceless. That's the article that came out. So now, like I said before, let's take note what Jay Will did, right? So now this is a conversation between Jay Will and Stephan A Smith. And Stephan A Smith took it to a level where Molly Karam had to jump in. And now it shows that Stephan A Smith is all about getting the shot because he's being told that he needed to talk about getting that shot. You know what I'm saying? He's been on CNN, like I said before. He's been on ESPN, on all types of shows, just trying to get people to take the shot. And not to mention, too, like I had a video of The View. They said that, you know, what more can we do about getting people getting a shot? We need celebrities. They, you know, said celebrity, Stephan A Smith. So this is what they're doing. And he's taking his role on. Kind of like a wrestler, you know what I'm saying? So Jay Williams put this man in the corner, and this is like maybe a day or 2 days after that first conversation they had.
Telling me that because situations or circumstances have changed about what originally took place to where we are now, that you believe Kyrie Irving should say, you know what? Just because I'm unclear about a decision I have to make about what's inserted into my body, when I should be granted time to make that decision, that screw that. I need to be on the court because I'm going to let my teammates down? That's what you're trying to tell me, Stephen A?
No, so
You're trying to tell me this is about...
See how he said yes? And Jay Williams about to bring it to him. He about to bring it to him. Shout out to Jay Williams. You know, so I might be a Duke fan after this. I doubt it, though. Let's go.
Basketball? This is about winning a championship?
No.
Not about making the right decision for myself and my family?
The right decision? How much
and I
time
know what
do
my
you
right decision is for me and my family, Stephen A.
All right,
you know,
okay.
I know it, and I would talk to Kyrie about how I felt, about how I came to a conclusion
You asking
on
questions
that
as you're
decision for my
talking.
family.
Which one's it going to be? You asking questions and then answering me. You going to
talking
ask
to
me
you,
a question?
See, right here, you hear that Stephen A is getting emotional. He's getting emotional. Jay Williams, press that right button. Let's continue.
Yeah, but you ain't gonna let me answer? I'm trying to answer you.
Go ahead. Okay,
yes! Yes! That meant yes! Because listen, if 6.2 billion people have taken it, okay? I'm sorry, has the vaccine killed somebody that I didn't? I mean,
See what he just said? Has a vaccine killed somebody? Let's be careful. Let's be careful, Stephen A.
that been the reason people died?
Well, if we go down that road, I mean, Moderna's been stopped in Sweden and different things.
All right, let's be careful.
See, now you have Molly Cameron coming in like, let's be careful, because she know that's the road they do not want to go down. And, you know, Stephen A got emotional right there. He got really emotional.
So let's not get into the medical science, guys.
All right, so all that's coming out, all that's being said, there's a lot more that came out. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to make this video as compact as possible. So now we have Stephon Marbury, right? Stephon Marbury, basically like the king of China when it comes to basketball. He's coming out saying these words about Stephan A Smith. And like I said, other people came out and said things about Stephan A Smith, but this is Stephon Marbury coming out saying things about Stephan A Smith. And for whatever reason, this got Stephan A Smith's attention for him to reply to it. So his two different clips of Stephon Marbury talking about Stephan A Smith and his Kyrie Irving situation. So let's start with this one.
Sad to hear Stephan A Smith talk about Kyrie Irving the way how he's talking about him, calling him selfish. This man has done so much stuff for human beings and giving back and trying to help so many different people, all different cultures, not just black people. This is what happens when you have people like this guy who's animated, not realistic about what it is that he speaks and talks about. He played a little bit of basketball, but come on, serious? You letting this guy talk to you about sports? This guy never got hit in a football game. He never swung a bat, and this is the person who they have speaking and talking about what's going on in sports. Man, y'all need to defund his voice.
Like I said, that's the first time I heard somebody say we got to defund his voice. I have to put that on a t-shirt, yo. Defund his voice. That's huge. We're treating them like cops in 2020. But the difference is when we defund the cops and we saw that the crime went up, they pedaled back and said, no, we need the cops. If we defund Stephan A Smith's voice, I highly doubt it they're going to say that we need him back. But let's continue. All right. So you heard Stephon Marbury. Now, this is Stephan A Smith reply to Stephon Marbury. So let's let this roll.
So now Stephon Marbury is on me about Kyrie Irving too. And look, I respect Stephon Marbury, I do. Because here's something I know about Stephon Marbury. That brother could ball. He should have made that look with his eyeballs because he's mentioning me in the same breath as himself, and I don't belong in the same class as either of these two dudes. Couldn't shine their shoes as a basketball player. I'm not on their level. But now you on my level because you're communicating. And when it comes to that, that's my lane. Now let me remind y'all, that man Stephon Marbury would play anywhere, anytime. 13 seasons in the NBA. Or was it 15? And when his time ended in the league, he went to China and he had a long career there too. Played in China until he was 40 years old. That is the Stephon Marbury story, period. But it's not Kyrie Irving's story. Because Kyrie Irving will find any reason not to be on the court, it seems sometimes. Always has.
See, now he's trying to question Kyrie Irving's heart and will to play basketball, saying that he find any excuse not to be on the court. So he's saying that this thing is an excuse for him not to be on the court.
And let me say this to y'all right now. Let me be very clear. Kyrie's a good brother. Heart's in the right place, all right? Understand who Kyrie Irving is off the court, buying George Floyd's family a house, for example. It's commendable at the highest level. And that's just one of the very, very few things that he has done. So this ain't about being vaccinated. It's not about being anti-vaccinated. It's about Kyrie Irving because he has a history of selfishness. when he was in Cleveland and wanted out, when he went to Boston and apologized to the world because he didn't realize what it took to be a leader when he was in Boston. And those young cats were relying on him, and then ultimately they veered in a different direction because they didn't like the direction he was going in. Then he goes to Brooklyn and he only plays 20 games, and then he gets hurt when KD is ready to ball. And by the way, the season gets postponed because of bubble play. You're discouraging people to play in the bubble. You're a vice president with the Players Association. You communicate that publicly, but you don't tell Chris Paul, who's the president of the Players Association.
See, it's kind of funny that Stephan A Smith did bring that up, but the reason why it wasn't because Kyrie didn't want to play, because of everything that was going on. You know what I'm saying? All the protests and, you know, all the racial turmoil and people upset, all the tensions are running high. So, yeah, he wanted to say, you know, you want to make a stand? Let's boycott the season. It wasn't like, let's not play in the bubble. He said, let's boycott the season. Why are we going here to play in this bubble? And a lot of players came out and said that Kyrie was right. Like, this was a bad move. You know, Paul George came out and said how he was depressed. And people made fun of him, you know what I'm saying? But he came out and said he's depressed. He's not seeing his family. He's like on a campus walking around with nothing. Like, you do the same thing over and over again, like Groundhog Day. And that's hard. That's hard to do. You can't leave. You can't fly people in. You can't fly out. You can't do nothing. You can't live your normal life. Yes, it could be depressing. Yeah, you're doing your job as a basketball player, but Kyrie was the one that said, let's not do this. And Stephan A Smith is trying to say, like, he did it. He said that because he didn't want to go to work.
At the time. Then you come back after 10 months off, getting over $30 million a year. In 2 weeks and just 7 games into the season, you need time off again. Your heart just wasn't in it. You needed a break. But there's people out here struggling, paying their hard-earned money to come see you play because you're the showstopper.
People spending their money to come see him play has nothing to do with nothing, to be honest. Like, if this man not going to play, you're not going to spend the money to see him. So why would you say that?
To me, it's obvious what I'm saying. It's selfish. It doesn't make him a horrible human being. It doesn't take away all the charitable things that he has done, but it is selfish. Stephon Marbury can't understand that? And you would come at me like that? Now, you know I could bring up video on the Vaseline when you was eating that stuff, right?
And see, that's kind of like, how do you say the word, triggering? Because, yeah, we was making fun of Stephon Marbury eating Vaseline, but now that we go back and look at it, you could tell that this brother had mental issues. He had things that he was dealing with. And, you know, back then we was like, all right, whatever, he's just crazy. But, you know, sometimes now we take mental health seriously. And that was a serious situation. You could tell that was a serious situation with this brother just basically on camera eating Vaseline.
I won't do that. You know I could bring up other things that happened.
He said, I won't. He said, I could bring it up that you're eating Vaseline, but I won't do that. You just brought it up. This guy, man.
You during your career with the New York Knicks. I won't do that. I'll simply say, Stephon Marbury, if I'm not qualified to talk basketball, why did your documentary, the documentary that was done on you, the kid from Coney Island, aired by Netflix, have me plastered all over the damn docuseries? I didn't volunteer. Y'all asked me to do that. You asked me to talk basketball and talk about you on your docuseries. So we know better. You know better. You're just upset because Kyrie's your boy and you got love for him and you're looking at me as tearing somebody down. No, I'm not tearing somebody down. You know why? Because we got a community to uplift and to look out for. And by condoning bad behavior, selfish behavior, you don't want to give the impression that that's okay.
What bad behavior is Kyrie doing? You know what I'm saying? He's saying that he's not doing something because of a mandate. That's not bad behavior. He said he's not putting something into his body that he's unsure of. That's not bad behavior. He came out and said he's not against the shot. So how is that bad behavior? So Stephan A Smith is trying to spin it the way that he see fit, which is kind of crazy.
That everybody can do that. Wrong is wrong. That's how you correct it to make the world a better place. I thought you was about that, Stephon Marbury. thought that's what you prided yourself in. You know, learning, growing, maturing, recognizing right from wrong, learning from mistakes and moving forward. Oh, it's all right to learn from the mistakes, just as long as you don't hear about the mistakes. But if you don't hear about the mistakes that are being made, how would you know to correct them? Be careful what you say, my brother, and who you say it about. This is a different game, and I know how to play this one.
So there you have it, man. That was the turn of events of all the back and forth that Stephan A Smith is going through. He told him to be careful. This is a different game that we playing here. Like, all right, yeah, okay, it's a different game that you're playing, but at the same time, man, it seems like these athletes are done with Stephan A Smith, yo. They seem like they're done with Stephan A Smith. He's been doing this nonsense for way too long. ESPN gave him a crazy contract. He's the highest paid sports analyst on ESPN, probably in ESPN history. I think, you know what I'm saying, recorded, he's making $12 million a month. And this shot situation is alarming. It's alarming because, you know, I've seen statistics that says that people in Kyrie Irving's age group and health conditions could like literally get, you know what I'm saying, the virus and not even know they have it. You know what I'm saying? So why would he put something in his body to fight something that likely he could fight on his own? And he said he's not against it. You know, like, I'm the same way. I don't feel like I'm against it either. I just feel like Stephan A Smith is being that mouthpiece for this shot. And he got to talk so loud and so big about it. So loud and so big. And now it's turning people off. It's turning people off. You see Jay Williams, who got the shot, who got both shots, he's on Twitter telling people to get the shot. He had to come at Stephan A Smith and was like, yo, what you doing is wrong. And like I said, he pulled Stephan A Smith's card. Stephan A Smith got triggered, and Stephan A Smith slipped up and said some things, and Molly Cameron had to clean it up real quick and real proper. Like him getting at LeBron James, saying that he need to be an advocate for the shot. LeBron James, I think he's in that position now where he's not going to say too much about nothing because what happened before. What happened with that Kyrie Irving getting killed by that police officer, how he came out and said that he now to get accountable, got to be held accountable, something like that. Ain't gonna find out the cop saved another woman's life by taking her life. So the cop had to make a split decision, you know what I'm saying? And LeBron James had to say something about that. Then people was getting at LeBron James. I think since then LeBron James has felt back. Like, I ain't saying that about nothing no more. Like, I don't want to be in that spotlight. That's not a good look for me. But I think that Stephan A Smith, man, it's a bad look. I think his only purpose now is like what Kwame Brown was saying, is to tear down athletes. That's his only purpose, is to tear down athletes, because clearly he's not here to speak to athletes no more. He's not here to try to hear the athlete's side. He's here just to be a mouthpiece and have these talking points. And I think it's a bad look for ESPN to have this brother out here doing this. You know what I'm saying? I know that you got to be 100% pro shot. I get it. But now you're tearing somebody down. Seems like a contradiction, because you actually sent out a letter to Stephon Marbury. Not a letter, not like old school, you write a letter, put a stamp on it and send it out. But you sent out a text or a DM to Stephon Marbury about the situation. And Stephon Marbury, he posted it. And I got it right here. I'm going to just read it to y'all real quick. My man, I responded to your video on my show this morning. So this is after he responded to the video. Regardless of our disagreements and my willingness to stand up for myself, anytime you like to talk man to man, I am here. Just let me know. We've known each other too long to going at each other once every few years like this. Again, I am here. Let me know if you like to reach out. If you don't, I understand. Stephon Marbury replied back, leave Kyrie alone. That's all I have to say. He's a good brother. Help him. Don't tear this one down. Like, they know he has this image and this thing of tearing people down, especially black men. Kwame Brown came out and said it. Then you start looking at it like, wow, he is that person. You know, a black person on TV tearing down black people is like the white man's tool to destroy black people, right? That's like a form of white supremacy and blackface. Like, I could tear down this black man. I could make this black man make less money with the words that I say. I can go on TV and say, this man don't deserve this. This man don't deserve that. This man is this. This man is that. This man is a bum. This man's a bust. This man can't play. You could go and say those words. Then the fans could believe those words. Then the fans be like, this person don't deserve the money. Then the GM or the whoever, I don't know who make the deals with the players, but they could go in and be like, all right, this is what's being said about you. You know, our fans don't want you here. These people don't want you here. You know what I'm saying? He could go in with that kind of argument, and he could be that mouthpiece for that argument. And it comes out to see like this person is that mouthpiece for that argument. And right now he's a mouthpiece for the shot. He's gonna be a mouthpiece for the shot. And whoever is against that shot, he's gonna go in. Kyrie Irving never says against the shot, but Stephen A is coming out saying like, you stupid for saying what you're saying. You're also stupid for not saying that, oh, you want to be against a shot, but you want to be a voice for the voiceless. Who's going to want to hear you if you're not playing basketball? You sound like the same people that told LeBron James to shut up and dribble, and the same people that told Colin Kaepernick to stand up. That's the same boat you're in right now. That's the same boat you're in right now. I get it. This is a serious thing that's going on in this country, but at the same time, this is what you sound like. This is what you sound like. And that's it, man. That's my thoughts on it, man. I've been on this way too long. Like I said, it's going to be a long one. But what's your thoughts on this, man? Do you think that Stephan A Smith is right? Or he should be okay? Or do you think that they're going to defund Stephan A Smith? I think he's going to be okay. A lot of stuff blow over real quick, but this is going to take a blow on him. Just like the Kwame Brown thing. That took a blow on Stephan A Smith's reputation. And I think this is going to take a blow. And I think he's going to be in a position where he can't take too many blows. And where new athletes are coming into the league or the NFL or, you know, Major League Baseball, wherever, you know, UFC already don't rock with Stephan A Smith. So it's like, you can pay this man all this money, but you can't use him as much as you want to. It's going to be a bad look, man. It's going to be a bad look at the end of the day, because the future is going to show that people are not going to rock with Stephan A Smith no more. And the only people who are going to give Stephan A Smith exclusive is like executives that want information to get out there. That's the only people that's going to rock with Stephan A Smith. But that's my opinion on it, man. Thanks for your time, man. If you really watch this video, please subscribe, because this is the kind of content I like to put out. I know it took me a while to get to where I want to go to. Like I said, I ain't even want to do the intro, but I just wanted to get on this one, man. The Stephan A Smith thing, it's a lot to unpack. And I see that Stephan A Smith is going to be that dude that's going to be the mouthpiece for the shot, no matter what. And once, you know, I was gonna wrap up, but I just want to say this one thing. Once Stephan A Smith, as an employee, have an agenda, he's gonna stick to that agenda no matter what. And he came out and said this himself. Stephan A Smith had a family member, right? I'm not gonna say which family member, but Stephan A Smith had a family member that was that had cancer, and this family member, you know, doing regular treatments, doing chemo, whatever, like the traditional treatments. And there were athletes that dealt with marijuana, was telling him, like, listen, use marijuana for said family member, because this is going to help this person ease their pain. It is going to take away a lot of discomfort. And Stephan A Smith is somebody who's so against weed. You know what I'm saying? He always said, you got to stay off the weed. That's like his catchphrase. His catchphrase was so important to him that he didn't want to help this family member with their pain, what they was going through with marijuana. This family member passed away, and later on he came out and he said, you know, well, how I feel strongly about weed. I didn't want this family member taking it, and I didn't help this family member get the weed. And now this family member, I should, now looking back, I should have did that. I should have gave that family member something to use to ease their pain, or maybe help them to be here longer. And he said he regretted that. He came out and said he regretted that. But that was just a sad story. And that shows how deep he's going to keep using whatever he used with his work, even in his personal life. He could have gave that said family member marijuana for pain. Nobody would have known. Nobody would have cared. Nobody would have came out and said, oh, Stephan A Smith is a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying? But he was like, no, he can't do it. Well, let me not say that. He came out to show he didn't want to do that because his stance on what he do at work. And that's sad. That's sad, and that's alarming. But those are my thoughts, man. I appreciate you guys' time. You know what I'm saying? If you stuck this far here, put here and put like a timestamp, because this was a long one. This was a long one. I'll try to put some chapters in it, so if you want to go back to something, you can see it later. But man, yeah, that's that, man. This Stephan A Smith thing is a lot to unpack, and it seems like this brother went down the wrong path, and that path is to do anything that your company wants you to do. If Disney wants you to go out and tell people to get the shot, he's going to do it 110%. He's not going to tiptoe around it, and he's going to call out anybody who's in his way. And right now, Kyrie Irving is that person that's in his way. But that's that, man. That's my opinion on it. I know that was a long one. Appreciate you guys, man. All right, man. Till next time. Peace.